Hi everybody. Today we're going to be going through a tutorial on how to use Adobe Sparks. It's going to be a refresher, a review of what we've done in class. So what you're going to want to do is open up a web browser, whether it's Google Chrome, Safari. You can go to the search bar right here and search up Adobe Sparks, or it is also linked as a material in your Google Classroom. You'll go ahead and click this first link right here where it says spark.adobe.com. It'll prompt you to sign in. So on this top right corner, do not click start now, click sign in. And it'll ask you to sign in with one of these programs. You're going to click continue with Google. If continue with Google doesn't work, you're going to log in with a school account. We do not have a class code, so make sure you click continue Google or log in with the school account. A pop-up window is going to pop up right there, and you're going to click your username or type in your student ID as well as your password. And here you'll be redirected to the Adobe Sparks homepage. Down here, if you've worked on a project previously, you're able to pick back up on that project and continue editing it. But if you are creating a brand new project, I suggest you pick one of these. The tool that I suggest we usually use is going to be Slideshow right here. It creates a type of video, but you can also, of course, make some sort of collage, web page, presentation, Instagram posts, portfolio, branded, or custom size. But for the ease of this video, we are going to be using Slideshow. Once you click there, you'll get some random inspirational quote here, just so you know. So if your page does not look exactly like mine, that's perfectly okay. But this just means over here, you're going to insert the title of whatever you're creating. And here, I'm just going to type the title of my Adobe Sparks is going to be Introduction to Sparks. And that's going to be the title of my presentation. Here we have templates. And depending on what type of project you're making with Adobe Sparks, you can pick one of these templates to work from. But if you want a blank template, you can click all the way at the end. Notice I click the arrows to scroll between the templates. All the way on the right, it says make up my own. This is just a blank template. But for the purpose of our projects, show and tell, this one right here with the pyramid and the camel is going to be your best bet. So I would click there, pick this one, and it will start loading up the Adobe Sparks platform. It's very similar to Google Slides in where you're able to kind of edit them. You can exit out that video. And when you see this plus mark right here, it just means you're able to add something new to the page. So here at the bottom, remember we talked about those templates. Here are the template guides. This one says about me, and it says maybe you want to introduce yourself, make it personal to connect with your audience or reinforce your credibility. I'm going to click this plus button right here, and I can add a video, text, photo, or icon, but here I'm going to add a text. And just like the template says, I'm going to write a little bit about me. Hello, my name is Jay. And a little bit about my credibility is that I will be teaching you about Adobe Sparks. Notice that once I can see my cursor here blinking, it means I'm able to edit any of this text. I'm also able to use these specific tools up here with the T minus, T plus, and trash can. Trash can means you're throwing it away. If you don't want it, you can delete it. But T minus means you are going to be making the text smaller or make the text bigger. That is a little too big, so it tells me the text is at its largest size, so I can make it a little smaller. I think that's about right. And I'm going to click anywhere outside of this frame to apply, and you'll see that there's this kind of loop button, and it applies the changes that you've made. So here I've applied it. There's no text highlight, meaning there's no square around it, and if I hover my mouse over there, you'll see my cursor changes to a hand grabbing kind of icon. That means I'm able to click and hold and drag my text anywhere around the screen. Unlike Google Slides, you can't put them right in the off center or somewhere weird. It snaps to each section of the spark. So it snaps to the upper right corner, it might snap to the lower left corner. But if I try to place it somewhere off center, it will automatically move it for me. So watch this. And it drags itself somewhere towards the center. So I am going to put it down here. I kind of like that. And then if I want to add a picture, they'll mainly add pictures to the background. So I'm going to click once again, if I want to add something, I'll press that plus button. I'm going to click photo. And on the right, let me move myself. On the right, you'll see that there is this toolbar that kind of pops out, and you get different options for what type of photos you want to add. You can upload a photo, meaning that if you've already downloaded photos in your computer, you click upload. You can take a photo using the camera that you have on your webcam, or you can find free photos. Here, I always recommend this because it's a lot quicker. So if I want to find a free photo, I'll type something because I teach science and math. Let's see if they have anything for STEM. They have beautiful pictures of flowers, and I'm going to pick this one. And as soon as I pick it, it will apply it to the background of my Sparks slide. You'll see this kind of working icon. It kind of spins, and so that means it's just working in the background. Perfect. So notice I click outside of it to return back to what we have here. This is going to be our screen, and we'll talk about the screen in our next slide. So going to the next slide, page 2. Down here, it says, what is it? I'm going to move myself again. I'll be moving myself a lot throughout this video because we're using such a small screen. But over here on page 2, it says, what is it? And this prompts you to tell me what is it that you're trying to tell us. And so here it says, show your project or the thing you're sharing, highlight what's interesting about it. So here it prompts you what you should talk about. So here I'm going to type, because we're talking about an Adobe Sparks tutorial, Adobe Sparks is a great tool to make presentations. And once again, I want to make this text a little bit smaller, but I want the text and the picture and a picture to be on the same page. So that's where in this upper right corner right here, you'll see layout, and you get to pick what type of layout this particular slide is going to be about. So the layout changes just each individual slide. So instead of having it full screen, which is what this is right here, I'll click split screen, and it splits my screen in half so that way I have my text on one side and I can insert a picture on the other side. And now that I've split my screen, my text is a little too small, so I want to make it bigger. So I click it. Notice the box is highlighted. I can highlight my text here, but then if I click T+, it makes my text bigger. There we go. Let's say I don't want this here. I want to swap it. I can press this button over here. So that way the picture comes first and then my text. And I want to put this in the top right corner. So notice I just dragged it. I'm going to add a picture. And once again, when we click this, that screen is going to pop up on the side. We get to pick video, photo, or icon. Click photo. And I'm just going to type in, maybe they have a picture for Adobe Sparks. They do not, but they have some sparklers. I get it. So let's use a picture of this. And if you find yourself not being able to find a photo in the Find Free Photos, I suggest you go on Google Images, find a picture using their image search, download it, and then click that upload button. And I'll go ahead and show you. So once again, back here, I like this page, it looks good. I'm going to go to my next one. It says, why? Explain why you're working on it or why you picked it to share. Why are you excited or passionate about it? And I'm going to type in my text. I'm going to say, because Adobe Sparks is easy to use. And once again, I get to change my layout. I'm going to pick this caption, and then I'm going to have a tiny photo here. And remember, you can pick layout for, it only affects one individual slide. I'm going to insert a photo. And instead of finding a free photo, I am going to upload a photo and click here. And a pop-up screen is going to come back. I recently did a presentation with tutorial class about Steven Universe, so I'm just going ahead and put a picture of the Steven Universe title card. So once you can find a picture from your computer, you upload it onto there. Steven Universe doesn't have anything to do with Adobe Sparks, but why not? And last, I'm going to go to the next one right here. It says show it, show why it's special, or demonstrate how it can make the world or your audience's lives better. I'm going to type something here. One more time, I'm going to repeat that same thing. Adobe Sparks is easy to use. And now I want to change the theme of it. And here in the top right corner next to layout, theme applies to all of the slides, not just one individual slide, but every single slide. So right now the theme is called title. It uses this particular font, but if I want to change the color, I have these options here. You can click purple maybe. But let's say I don't like the font. I can change the font from to elevate, to focus, to flare. And I like using flare because it's the most dramatic change. So let me go ahead and click flare, and you can see how my slides have changed. I'm going to pick the picture, or the color, I'm sorry. And you can see that it applies this kind of filter over all my other pictures. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I can navigate through the different slides down here. See, there's kind of this blue hue, blue color over my first page before. So if I click purple, it's going to have a purple kind of color. So you're able to adjust that, picking the color in the theme. But remember, when you pick a theme, it applies to all of the slides. So all of my slides have this purple hue to it, and the text has changed. The next thing you want to take a look at is up here with music. You get to pick the theme of the music or the theme of your presentation. So every time I want to click something like leapfrog, you can hear it if you press the play button right here. I don't know if you're able to hear that in this tutorial, but you can experiment by listening to different think of it as elevator music, but they set the tone. So here we kind of have a happy tone, we have playful tones, relaxed tones, rousing, thematic, so that means more like dramatic sounds. And so they're these different type of elevator music, more or less. They set the tone for how your presentation is going to flow, because if we press this big play button right here, it will start to play the music as well as your presentation. Let me move myself. And so you can see that it scrolls and automatically changes the pages for you. And you can exit here to stop the preview. And one last thing we want to do is point out this voice record option right here. I'm back at my first page. This voice record option right here, in order for it to work, you're going to hold the button down and record your voice. So I'm going to record my voice reading whatever is on here. Hello, my name is Jay. I'll be teaching you about Adobe Sparks. So I recorded it at about 4 seconds, and it tells me right here. And then if I messed up, for example, if I accidentally said something wrong, or if I didn't like the way it sounded, I can just record it again by pressing and holding that button. It will overwrite whatever you've recorded. Hello, my name is Jay. I'll be teaching you about Adobe Sparks. And notice I held it, I recorded my voice, and then I let go, and so it saves it automatically. So when you press the play button right here, you can hear my voice narrate, talk about the slide. And for each slide, you have that option of recording your own voice. And if you mess up, you just record it over again. So it's very, very simple to use. One last thing is if you start to find yourself running out of space, you want to talk more, you want to put more pictures, you want to show things more, once again, you have this plus button right here. It's adding an extra slide. So every time I click it, another blank slide pops up. So you can start all over. You can either put in a video, text, photo, or an icon, and all the tools are available for you to use, so you can change the way each individual screen has its layout. You can change the entire theme of the entire presentation. I wouldn't recommend anything with resizing because we don't have to go that far just yet, but explore with the different options. And then once you're just about done, you'll see up here that there is a preview. You get to preview what your presentation looks like. It's very similar to this button right here. You get to share it, you get to download it, or add collaborators. So right now, I'm working on allowing us to download our presentations in order to share it, but because we don't have that option, I recommend you go to share, you go to invite, so that way you can invite me or any of your other teachers to look at your presentation. So once again, the best way and the only way really to share it right now is to go to this option right here where it says share, click it, go to invite, and you're able to type in our email addresses in order to share your presentation. All right, I hope that was helpful. I hope it recaps a little bit of what we learned in class. But if you have any questions, leave me a message and I will get back to you. All right, see you later. Bye.